With Chief Administrative Officer Jim Destino here at Gloucester. Jim, obviously Newell Stadium is on our minds and we're trying to find out what's going on. What's the history of what's going on at this point with the stands most recently being taken down?
Well, to go a little bit further back than the recent history with it, as you know, a lot of people came together to raise money to build the new stadium. There were multiple different sources from 3 or 4 different loan orders, authorizations by the city, some CPA money, a lot of donations from people who gave money for to build it. And back then, when we got here about 3.5 years ago, one of the first meetings I was asked to attend was by the building committee and some city staff down at Newell Stadium. And to my surprise, when I went down there, I had noticed, living in that area, I was surprised I didn't notice it before, but there was a heaving, so to speak, at both 15-yard lines on the football field. And I said, what the heck is going on here? And so, as the story goes, there was the building committee in the city at the time had a consultant who did the architectural engineering work for the stands and the stadium. They were told, that it was going to be a quite expensive endeavor. Really, a slab needed to go under the full facility, which would have cost $6 million, which was out of reach for the group to be able to provide. So they ended up hiring a different architect and a different consultant to try and find another way to get this done. So they found an engineering firm that said that it's not 100%, but we can put a slab just underneath the stands, and this there's a possibility that it could settle, but everyone believed, and the city signed off on it back then, that it would work. And they did, and they went forward. And as you know, the story, it settled. So now it's 3.5 years later, and the mayor and I feel that we have to correct this. We've got to move forward. There was an architectural firm and an engineering firm and the company that did the construction. So we sat down with them and talked to them about remediation for this problem. And we came up with a solution, to put the stands on pilings. It's basically the same concept that they use in the bathrooms that are down there that have worked so well.
Right.
You notice they haven't. So.
Right.
No one's really happy about this, especially us, especially me, who we haven't borrowed a lot of money, and we don't like to borrow money because of, we're trying to catch up from, some of the problems that we've had, and we think we're on the right track. So this was a difficult pill to swallow for us, but we also understood that this is an asset that the city has. It's only going to get worse until we fix it. So it's time to fix it before the costs go up too high. And because we had the continuation of the contract with the 2 contractors we're doing business with, we got the engineering done for nothing and the construction piece discounted. So we're moving forward. We were in front of the city council last night for an appropriation. Again, the appropriation's a little misleading in a sense that there were appropriations, loan orders already in place. We could have tapped into those, and there was about $192,000 or $200,000 worth of donations still there for the remediation of this problem. So we could have tapped into that money, and that's how we started the project, with that funding. But we went to bond council, and our CFO and auditor started looking through all this, all the way these funds were all kind of commingled into one bucket at one time, and said, really, to be clean, you need to issue a new loan order, do it that way, and instead, and then dissolve the other loan orders, and because we couldn't tell what the old CFO and the old administration did with the money, because it all looked like it went into one pot. We couldn't tell what was donations, what was CPA money, and what was loans by from the records that. So that's what we did. We went in front of the city council. Not an easy explanation to justify this to the city council, but again, we felt it's our responsibility to straighten this out. So They are, they started the work, they took down the stands, the same exact stands will be going up. They've leveled it, they broke up the slab that settled, and now they're, I believe yesterday, started to drive the pilings, and now, the pilings will go down to bedrock and hit solid bedrock, and we're very confident that this now will fix the problem.
Any estimate on the time schedule? Because I know the kids couldn't play under the lights in springtime, and now here it is fall coming up. Any idea when they'll be able to play?
Yeah, the funny thing about the springtime lights thing is really, that's a different issue.
Right.
Because that came with the winter storm. Again, let's be clear that the winter storms that came, the flooding, the whole high school, the cars in the parking lot thing had nothing to do with the field. It really didn't. That problem had already, happened.
Right.
But the the lights, that transformer blew out. That was next to the bathrooms in the concession. The National Grid transformer there had to be replaced during the storm, and so that's been taken in, and we're putting back. We're hoping to have everything done, sometime in October. We've been in close contact with the athletic director about, maybe playing the first couple of football games away if we can. So we wanted to get it up and, and there may be a couple of football games where we don't have the, the best seating. I mean, people might just be standing around the fence watching the game, but we want to get it done. We want to get it done, this season before the snow flies, and that's our goal. And we're on good pace. We've had good weather.
Finally, Jim, cost estimate?
Well, again, we borrowed $1.1 million last night. That includes, other appropriations that we had, bundling those. So it's going to be around $1.1 million plus the 192 that we had to do this. Yeah. So.
All right. Thank you, Jim.
Yep. Thanks.